Welcome back to the deep dive. We pull apart the complexity, filter out the noise, and hand you the concentrated knowledge you need to stay ahead of the curve. Today, we're tackling what is arguably the single largest friction point in modern enterprise, and that's the gap between data collection and, well, intelligent action, especially in customer relationships. For years, we've all invested fortunes in customer relationship management systems, right?
Yeah.
CRMs. We track every call, every single email, every outcome. But, the truth is these platforms often just function as really sophisticated historical databases.
Sophisticated filing cabinets.
Exactly. They're excellent at telling you what happened, but they're fundamentally limited in telling you what should happen next. They log things, but they rarely drive anything with, proactive, personalized intelligence. Well, that inefficiency is now meeting its match. And that's our deep dive today. We're looking into the next generation of customer relationship management powered not by passive software, but by autonomous artificial intelligence agents. It's a concept we're going to be calling the AI at CRM platform. Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission here is to move past the hype and really get into the fundamental mechanics of how these smart, autonomous agents are using generative AI and these advanced planning workflows to go beyond basic automation. We're talking about a move into true strategic intelligence, continuous learning, and decision-making that is completely transforming how sales and service teams operate right now.
And that's the core distinction we really have to establish right up front. Traditional CRM, it manages data flow exceptionally well, but it just lacks the native autonomy
Right.
and the level of personalization that customers now, frankly, expect. I mean, think about modern customer expectations. They don't just want an answer. They want an immediate, fully contextual, proactive resolution.
And ideally without talking to a person.
Ideally without any human intervention at all. That latency, that wait time for a human to read through and interpret a long history of interactions, that's a massive liability in a competitive market. And AI agents, well, they solve this by being fundamentally autonomous. They're intelligent systems designed to perform really specific, complex, customer-related tasks.
So we're not talking about just answering what's my account balance.
No, not at all. We're talking about dynamic lead qualification, intricate opportunity management, comprehensive case resolution that might involve pulling from 3 or 4 different back-end systems. And the key is that they don't merely follow a pre-written script. They are capable of understanding vast amounts of context, making informed decisions, and then adapting their actions based on real-time data, on feedback loops, and a defined set of goals. The AI at CRM platform is really that foundational layer that lets all these agents operate within the existing enterprise ecosystem.
Okay, and this is where it gets really, really interesting for me. Because when we talk about enterprise automation, most people, I think, they default to 2 familiar concepts. You've got the simple rule-based chatbot we see on every website, or you have robotic process automation, RPA. So for you, the learner, trying to grasp this shift, what is the fundamental difference between these new AI agents and the, let's say, more rigid automation systems we already know?
That contrast is absolutely vital. It is, in essence, the difference between automation and true intelligence. Traditional systems like RPA, they rely on rigid, rule-based programming.
Right.
And look, RPA is phenomenal at what it does.
Right.
It's for highly repetitive, high-volume, predefined tasks. Things that involve structured data, like migrating thousands of records from one database field to another. It follows a perfect linear script.
It's a workhorse.
It's a workhorse. But AI agents, on the other hand, they leverage large language models and generative AI. They use what we call agentic planning and execution workflows. And this just means they operate with a set of core capabilities that RPA simply cannot replicate. Things like reasoning, planning, tool integration, and continuous learning.
Okay, let me try to put that into simpler terms. So agentic planning. Does that mean the AI doesn't just follow a script, but it gets a goal like resolve this complex service issue, and then it looks at its available tools, databases, APIs, communication channels, and it writes its own to-do list to get that goal accomplished. Is that right?
That's the perfect analogy. It's a fundamental shift from following rules to solving problems.
Yeah.
If an RPA system encounters any kind of deviation, say a customer input field has text instead of a number, it fails. It just halts the process. It breaks. An AI agent, using its reasoning and planning components, can navigate that complex, unstructured data. It can, for example, take a detailed sales runbook written in natural language, a high-level strategy document, and figure out all the individual, granular, executable steps required to make it happen.
Wow.
And it does that even if those specific steps were never hard-coded in advance.
That flexibility is precisely what's needed in customer relationships, right? Because customer interactions are inherently messy. They're emotional, they're nonlinear, they almost never follow a perfect flowchart.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another key concept here, which is resilience. A pre-programmed bot that fails just stops.
Yeah.
It often leaves the customer or the human agent just stranded. An AI agent is fundamentally designed with self-correction in mind. It can autonomously detect and correct errors in its own execution. Or, if the problem truly is beyond its scope, it intelligently raises an exception and seeks human guidance. But, and this is the crucial part, it does so while retaining and presenting all the relevant context, which saves the human agent a massive amount of diagnostic time.
So it's not just saying error, it's saying, here's what I tried, here's where I got stuck, and here's what I think the problem is.
Precisely. And that self-correcting loop ensures continuous operational improvement and makes the agent far more robust and versatile.
Okay, so we've established that these AI agents are smart, they're flexible problem solvers. Now let's talk architecture, because complexity needs structure. The source material highlights a really crucial architectural decision: single agent versus multi-agent systems.
Yeah, and this choice is entirely dependent on the complexity of the task you're trying to automate. The single agent patterns are, the simplest to deploy and maintain. You have one highly capable agent. It's responsible for executing the entire workflow, and it uses its own limited, focused set of tools.
Okay, so this sounds great for straightforward, linear, high-volume stuff, like maybe checking the real-time inventory status across a few local warehouses, something like that.
Exactly. Easy maintenance, fewer conflicts, but they do hit a wall pretty quickly when the task scales up or when it requires really diverse forms of expertise.
A bottleneck.
A huge bottleneck.
Okay.
They're prone to performance issues if the volume increases dramatically, and they really struggle to handle multifaceted tasks that might normally require input from, say, 3 or 4 different departments.
Right.
And this is where the multi-agent patterns architecture becomes, well, essential. It's the ideal structure for these complex, interconnected workflows where you need specialized feedback and action from multiple personas, you could say. So you have several agents collaborating, each one specializing in a specific subtask. You might have one for data analysis, one for content generation, or one for systems integration.
Okay, so this sounds absolutely necessary for something really complex like sophisticated sales forecasting for a global manufacturer. You'd need simultaneous input from a data analyst, a market trends expert, a supply chain manager, and maybe an international compliance officer. One agent just can't hold all that expertise.
Precisely. It can. And the benefits are tremendous. You get improved scalability because you can do parallel processing across these distinct tasks. You can leverage deep, specialized expertise in each component. And you get significantly increased fault tolerance through redundancy. If the agent responsible for retrieving market data hits a system error, the content generation agent can just pause and wait.
Or the whole thing doesn't crash.
The whole workflow doesn't collapse. The central orchestrator can just reroute the request. The challenge, of course, is that you're introducing architectural complexity. You have to manage that coordination overhead and have clear rules so the agents don't end up conflicting or, repeating each other's work.
That architectural explanation really grounds the concept. Now, to bring this to life, let's see these multi-agent teams in action. Let's look at the day-to-day experience of professionals, and let's start with sales. It's a function that has historically been just drowned in manual administration and reporting.
For sure. The AI at CRM platform really transforms the sales function by deploying a collaborative team of 5 specialized agents, and they cover the entire sales lifecycle. This really shifts the focus from manually logging activities to generating and acting on operational intelligence.
And that's the fundamental value proposition, isn't it? It's freeing up the salesperson's time to focus on relationship building and strategic closing, the uniquely human tasks. Let's break down this 5-agent sales team.
Okay, so the organizational backbone is the first agent, Sales Assist, the personal sales assistant. This agent shoulders the bulk of that repetitive administrative burden. It manages the daily schedule, it optimizes appointment times based on factors like, say, geographic routing and client history.
Oh, it's smart.
It sends automated meeting reminders, and most importantly, it prioritizes tasks based on urgency and strategic value.
Yeah.
It dynamically adjusts the to-do list as new information flows into the CRM.
So it's essentially a highly efficient chief of staff for every single salesperson.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, next up, the agent that fuels the pipeline. Lead magnet, the lead generation wizard. This sounds like a massive improvement over just buying a lead list.
It's a world of difference. Lead magnet is a precision tool. It specializes in identifying and acquiring high-quality prospects, so it's moving away from simple quantity. It uses advanced machine learning algorithms to scour these diverse, unstructured sources, the open web, professional social platforms, industry databases,
All the places a human would look, but a million times faster.
and it finds leads that precisely match a dynamically defined ideal customer profile. Then it initiates personalized outreach. This is not a mass email tool. It generates tailored, context-aware emails and follow-up messages. And crucially, it continuously refines its own search strategies based on the salesperson's success rates and feedback. So it's effectively getting smarter about where the best opportunities are.
So we shift from a volume-based approach to hyper-precision. I like that. Now, moving to execution and presentation, we have Content Crafter, the sales collateral creator.
Right. Think about the massive time sink of customizing a pitch deck or a proposal for a large, complex client.
Hours, days, sometimes.
Days. Content Crafter handles this instantly. It crafts persuasive, professional-grade sales, collateral detailed product proposals, customized pricing quotes, comprehensive presentations. It does this by drawing on the entire knowledge base of the enterprise's offerings and integrating the customer-specific needs from the CRM. It just ensures that every piece of content the salesperson delivers is not only professional, but is also uniquely compelling and relevant to that customer at that precise stage of their buying cycle.
Then we get to the strategic decision maker. Insight Engine, the sales analytics powerhouse.
Insight Engine operates as the continuous analyst. It's ingesting data constantly from the CRM, sales activity logs, external market trends, and it uses advanced analytics to identify subtle patterns that a human analyst might miss.
Like what?
Like, say, correlating a drop in customer engagement with a specific competitor's recent product launch. But it doesn't just present data. It provides hyper-actionable, data-driven recommendations. It tells the salesperson the next best action to take with any given opportunity.
So it fundamentally shifts the salesperson from just logging data to actually acting on predictive intelligence.
Exactly.
And finally, the essential agent we talked about earlier, the glue that holds this whole collaborative team together, workflow master, the integration orchestrator.
This agent is the linchpin. It's the key to the whole multi-agent system. Workflow Master orchestrates that seamless collaboration between all the other specialized agents, Sales Assist, Lead Magnet, and so on. And critically, it ensures the smooth, real-time integration with the enterprise's core CRM and ERP systems. It handles the data flow, the handoffs between agents, and the process automation throughout the entire lead-to-cash cycle. It ensures every piece of information is updated accurately and instantaneously across the whole ecosystem.
The productivity gain here isn't just a minor efficiency. I mean, it's a complete operational overhaul.
It is. And now let's move over to the service side, because customer service agents, they routinely face burnout. Just from the sheer volume of repetitive queries, complex escalations, and then all the administrative follow-up required just to close a ticket. So the AI at CRM platform deploys a parallel, specialized, multi-agent team that's designed to handle the entire service lifecycle, from that first customer inquiry all the way to a deep root cause analysis.
All right, let's meet the 5 service AI agents. Starting with one on the front lines, the immediate customer-facing role. Query Assist, the customer query handler.
Query Assist acts as the intelligent front door. It uses sophisticated natural language processing to handle service queries across every channel, chat, email, text, even voice transcription. It assesses the precise context and, importantly, the emotional sentiment of the customer's inquiry.
Oh, that's key.
It is key to maintaining customer loyalty. So it provides accurate, personalized, and yes, empathetic responses. And if the issue is complex or urgent, say a network outage reported by an executive, it intelligently prioritizes and routes the query to the right human expert or specialized agent. And it delivers the entire interaction history and a recommended solution path in seconds.
Okay. And when the solution requires someone to actually show up, we need the escalation master, the field service follow-up expert.
Escalation Master manages those field service needs end to end. It's like a complex logistics coordinator. When an on-site visit is needed, it coordinates with field service management systems, it tracks technician availability in real time, optimizes their travel routes, it manages scheduling with the customer, and it makes sure all the necessary internal approvals are obtained promptly.
And it keeps the customer in the loop.
Critically, it integrates with customer communication tools to provide continuous, real-time updates to the customer. That drastically reduces the uncertainty and frustration of waiting for a technician.
Right. This team approach also needs to focus on making every interaction count for the future. I'm guessing that's the job of knowledge crafter, the knowledge base curator.
That's exactly it. This is the engine of continuous learning for the entire service organization. Knowledge Crafter actively monitors and analyzes customer interactions, human agent responses, and the specific resolution steps that were taken. It uses this data to identify recurring issues, gaps in resolution, or areas where the existing documentation is weak. And then it automatically generates and continuously refines knowledge base articles, detailed explanations, troubleshooting steps, full solutions, all based on real-world proven outcomes.
So both the human agents and the Query Assist bot always have access to the absolute best and most current information.
For quick, consistent resolution, yes.
Okay, but to move beyond just treating symptoms, we need some deep detective work. That sounds like the root cause analyst, the issue investigator. This agent focuses on systemic improvement, not just the immediate fix.
This is where the profound organizational impact really lies. Root cause analyst performs forensic, in-depth root cause analysis on service cases. It leverages advanced analytics to correlate data across service tickets, product usage logs, performance metrics, and customer feedback to pinpoint the true source of chronic problems.
So product defect, a design flaw.
A faulty installation process, a training gap, anything. And the true insight here is that it generates a comprehensive defect report, correlating that flaw across global service tickets and specific software or hardware versions, and it generates a structured report that's ready for the engineering or product management queue.
And finally, we have the agent focused on long-term value and revenue. Warranty Wizard, the service contract manager.
Warranty Wizard manages all those crucial details around service contracts, entitlements, and warranties. It integrates seamlessly with the core CRM, product catalog, and billing systems to make sure all that information is accurate and that customer eligibility is confirmed instantly. And more importantly, it provides proactive notifications and personalized reminders for warranty expirations and renewal opportunities. It will often even generate tailored renewal quotes.
So it prevents gaps in coverage, ensures a seamless service experience, and I'm guessing it's a pretty strong driver of customer loyalty and recurring revenue.
A very strong driver.
It's clear that these teams of autonomous, specialized agents aren't just automating tasks. They are building a parallel, highly intelligent workforce. Now, let's organize this incredible impact across the broader customer lifecycle. Let's connect the core capabilities we discussed, reasoning, planning, tool integration, and continuous learning to some specific high-stakes industry use cases. We have 4 main pillars of AI agent application.
All right, our first pillar focuses on sales lead and opportunity management. And this is where the agent's core reasoning and planning capabilities really shine. It's all about applying intelligence to prioritize effort and strategize the best path to conversion.
Let's start with intelligent lead scoring. This sounds particularly relevant in sectors like real estate, where speed and precision are everything.
In a fast-moving market like real estate, every minute counts. AI agents can integrate an immense amount of data. Property listing platforms, historical buyer behavior, social media sentiment, economic indicators, and all the detailed lead input like preferences, budget, urgency. They use all this to assign a sophisticated lead score that goes way beyond simple demographics. And then the planning agent takes that score and immediately recommends a personalized follow-up sequence, which specific properties to suggest, what price range to focus on, and the best communication channel and timing.
So the agent ensures the human professional spends their limited time only on the prospects most likely to convert.
Within a tight time frame, yes.
Right. And what about opportunity management, particularly in high-value fields like professional services?
In professional services consulting, legal, major financial projects, accurate scoping, and resource allocation define your profitability. Here, the reasoning agent analyzes massive data sets of historical project performance.
So success metrics, client preferences.
Exactly. The exact skill set required, current internal resource availability, all of it. This allows the agent to recommend the optimal team composition for a new project, accurately assess the scope of work based on similar past successes, and then monitor progress in real time. And if a key deliverable is running late, the agent identifies the risk, diagnoses the potential root cause like, say, resource strain on a specific team member, and recommends corrective actions to ensure timely delivery and maximize that project's profit margin.
Okay, moving on to the second pillar, customer service and support. You said this area is defined by the power of tool integration, since agents have to talk to dozens of back-end systems.
An excellent example is intelligent chatbot support in large-scale e-commerce. E-commerce customers demand instant, friction-free support for logistics issues. The AI agents power chatbots that integrate directly with the order management system, inventory databases, shipping carriers, and the knowledge base.
Wow.
This integration lets them handle a massive volume of requests, autonomously order tracking, processing complex returns, providing detailed product specs, and crucially, when a human is needed, the agent doesn't just pass the customer along. It seamlessly escalates the case and gives the human agent a comprehensive, fully accurate context summary instantly.
So the customer doesn't have to repeat their issue for the fifth time.
Exactly. It eliminates that huge point of friction.
And by leveraging that same integration capability, we see the rise of proactive support. This sounds transformative in industries like telecommunications.
It represents a major shift from reactive complaint management to predictive loyalty management. AI agents integrate with network monitoring systems, infrastructure health reports, service outage databases, and they can detect anomalies or potential service degradations before customers are widely affected or even notice.
That's huge.
It is. They then use communication tools to proactively reach out to affected customers with personalized updates, clear explanations, and estimated resolution times. This proactive management of expectations, all facilitated by deep system integration, drastically reduces customer churn risk and rebuilds trust during service disruptions.
Okay, our third pillar is marketing automation and personalization, which you said relies heavily on the agent's continuous learning capability to adapt marketing strategies in real time.
Let's look at product recommendations in the highly regulated financial services industry. Financial institutions manage these long-term customer relationships, where cross-selling the right product at the right time is vital. AI agents analyze these complex data sets, transaction histories, risk profiles, stated financial goals, and significant life events like a marriage, a job change, or buying a home. The continuous learning component lets them refine the customer profile and recommend these highly personalized, timely cross-selling opportunities, like suggesting a home equity line of credit or a specialized retirement fund. And they deliver those recommendations through perfectly timed, targeted marketing that feels more like helpful advice than just generic advertising.
And what about driving engagement and content recommendations within, say, media and entertainment?
In media, retention is all about engagement. Agents integrate with content management systems. They analyze deep viewing histories, user consumption patterns, social interactions, even how long a user pauses or skips through content. They continuously learn and refine this understanding of individual tastes and habits, and they develop a profile so granular that it can predict what content will appeal next.
And then it just serves it up.
It serves it up. It delivers personalized content suggestions, movies, music, articles across various interfaces, ensuring the content is optimally relevant, which is the #1 driver for subscriber retention in that sector.
All right, finally, the fourth pillar, field service and workforce management, where collaboration among agents and external systems is paramount for optimizing physical resources.
A great illustration is intelligent scheduling and retail execution for the consumer products industry. Sales reps have to visit hundreds of retail outlets. The AI agents integrate scheduling software with rep availability, real-time traffic analytics, store sales performance data, and dynamic store priorities.
So if a store suddenly needs a promotional display checked, it can adjust on the fly.
It adjusts on the fly. It optimizes assignments and routing, dynamically adjusting schedules in real time based on unexpected delays or urgent account requests. And the agents also collaborate to pull and provide the sales reps with crucial up-to-the-minute store information, like recent sales data or specific compliance issues, to ensure they're efficient while on site.
And one of the most complex, high-stakes applications, predictive maintenance in aerospace and airline maintenance. Here, safety and asset utilization are, they're non-negotiable.
This is a masterclass in continuous learning and multi-system integration. Agents integrate deeply with aircraft maintenance management systems, with sensor data streaming from thousands of components, and with historical flight schedules. They analyze equipment performance and maintenance logs to predict potential component failures with very high accuracy, often weeks in advance.
Wow.
This capability lets the airline proactively schedule maintenance during planned downtime, which minimizes unplanned grounding of aircraft. That is critical for safety, for regulatory compliance, and for maximizing profitability. And furthermore, the agents learn from technician reports on parts replacement and repair procedures, continuously optimizing spare parts inventory and maintenance schedules based on real-world repair data, making the entire maintenance pipeline smarter over time.
What's so fascinating here is that achieving this level of performance, where agents are predicting engine failures or dynamically scheduling field teams based on live sensor data, that requires moving so far beyond simple programming. We really need to look at the brain of the operation. The sophisticated underlying technology and design patterns that make all this intelligence and planning even possible.
Indeed. We're moving beyond just simple inputs into a large language model. The source material highlights some specific cutting-edge prompting techniques and design patterns that are key to achieving that deep context understanding with minimal computational cost. These are what enable the agent's complex reasoning and planning in an efficient way.
Okay, so let's start with the pattern focused on highly efficient knowledge navigation, algorithm of thoughts, or AOT.
AOT is a technical pattern that maximizes efficiency by moving past linear or simple tree-based reasoning. Instead, it uses a graph-based structure for context management.
Okay, what does that mean in practice?
Think of it like mapping a vast legal document. AOT doesn't reread the whole thing every time. Instead, it creates a map of citations and connected ideas. So when you ask a question, it jumps directly to the relevant connected nodes in the graph. This ability to skip irrelevant paths drastically reduces the number of calls to the LLM that are necessary to get deep contextual results. It makes it highly cost-effective and efficient for tasks that require a deep, nuanced understanding of multiple related data points.
Then we have a technique focused on that dynamic decision-making and real-time interaction with the outside world. React, which is reasoning and acting.
React is the methodology that allows the agent to be truly dynamic. So when an agent gets a complex request, it doesn't try to solve it internally all at once. First, it reasons about what information or action is missing. Second, it uses an external tool, checks an inventory database, executes an API call to a shipping carrier. Third, it incorporates that external result into its next step of reasoning. It's an iterative, self-correcting loop of think, act, observe, think again. And this structure enables the agent to dynamically adapt its internal plan based on fresh data it gathers from its tools, which is crucial for real-time customer interactions.
And then perhaps the most critical component for autonomous resilience and continuous, unsupervised improvement, reflection.
Reflection is what truly differentiates these agents from simple automation. It equips them with dynamic memory and, critically, the ability to self-reflect. So when an agent runs a task and either fails or, and this is maybe more subtle, runs it inefficiently by taking too many steps, it uses a heuristic function to review its own past attempt. It creates a mental record of what went wrong, the bad habit, so to speak.
And it learns from it.
And it intentionally adjusts its approach for similar tasks in the future. It's not just being corrected by a human, it's learning from its own mistakes. It's detecting and avoiding repetitive or inefficient strategies all by itself. This is the foundation of a truly reliable AI agent system operating in the chaotic, real-world customer environment.
That deep dive into the technical brain trust, though, it raises a really important question. Building these complex multi-agent systems that are handling incredibly sensitive customer data requires stringent oversight. So this brings us to the necessary architectural considerations and best practices, particularly around governance and security.
Absolutely. Without a rigorous architectural foundation, these systems quickly become liabilities. The first and perhaps most mundane but vital requirement is data integration and quality. Agents are only as good as the data they consume. Enterprises have to establish robust data governance and quality checks to ensure integrity across all their siloed systems, CRM, ERP, external feeds.
So you need a single source of truth.
You need a centralized, intelligent customer data platform, because if the agents are fed inconsistent or low-quality data, they will output inconsistent, low-quality decisions. Garbage in, garbage out.
And as we move into the realm of global enterprise deployment, scalability and performance can't be an afterthought.
No, if you deploy multi-agent teams across a global sales force of thousands, the architecture has to be designed from day one to scale seamlessly. This means leveraging modern cloud-native architectures, containerization, and implementing sophisticated load balancing to distribute that massive computational workload evenly.
Without introducing latency in customer-facing interactions.
That's the key.
Now, let's address the big one, security and privacy. When generative AI agents are handling sensitive customer data, what specific generative AI security controls are mandatory?
This is paramount. We're dealing with PII and highly sensitive commercial information. So beyond standard encryption and granular access controls, generative AI introduces unique risks, primarily through things like prompt injection or unintended data leakage.
Right.
Therefore, comprehensive controls have to include personal data filtering, and PII obfuscation mechanisms built right into the data pipeline.
Hmm.
These scrub personally identifiable information before it even reaches the LLM. You also need bias and fairness detection tools to prevent skewed outcomes, and most critically, thorough prompt sanitization to neutralize adversarial attacks where bad actors try to trick the agent into revealing sensitive system info or bypassing security controls.
And to foster trust among the human users, the sales managers and the service agents, that black box problem of AI decisions has to be eliminated, which leads us to the need for explainability and transparency.
Right. If Insight Engine tells a sales manager to drop their highest value lead, that manager needs to know why. You have to implement explainable AI techniques, providing model interpretability, and maintain detailed, immutable audit trails. Human users need to clearly understand the reasoning, that chain of thought behind the agent's decisions. This trust layer is what drives adoption and ensures that agents are seen as strategic partners, not as mysterious automated threats.
But the reality is that complex language models, especially in these highly nuanced business environments, can sometimes drift or make errors. This brings us back to the vital importance of feedback and human-in-the-loop mechanisms.
This is the essential reliability and safety layer. Agents must have clear feedback mechanisms that allow human operators to provide immediate input and corrections. For high-stakes decisions like adjusting a major price quote or escalating a complex legal matter, human review and approval must be mandated before final execution.
So you get the best of both worlds.
Exactly. This human-in-the-loop approach prevents the agent from spiraling off course. It leverages the agent's speed, but it ensures the immediate outcome is aligned with human domain expertise and organizational risk tolerance. It just yields far more reliable results.
Okay, finally, we've talked about these multi-agent teams. And you mentioned earlier the complexity of coordination. We need clear rules for multi-agent system information sharing and communication and robust role definition.
In these complex setups, effective collaboration is non-negotiable. Agents need standardized, robust communication channels and shared memory or knowledge bases, a centralized, real-time context store to maintain a common understanding of what's happening. And for role definition, you need to clearly and narrowly assign the specific roles and capabilities of each agent. Lead Magnet handles prospect identification only. Content Crafter handles collateral generation only.
So they stay in their lane.
They stay in their lane. This minimizes the chance of an AI agent attempting tasks outside its expertise or hallucinating actions. Establishing a clear group leader or coordinator agent is also key to streamlining task assignment and managing the overall team performance.
Let's tie all of this together using that rigorous technical framework with a comprehensive example of a multi-agent system at work. Specifically, revolutionizing sales forecasting in a complex environment. The example of Manufacture Co. detailed in our sources.
The challenge Manufacture Co., a global industrial equipment manufacturer, faced was, well, it's endemic across heavy industry. Their sales forecasts were notoriously inaccurate, not because the sales team was poor, but because the process relied heavily on manual spreadsheets and human judgment. And crucially, it could not integrate the necessary real-time data from internal supply chain movements and volatile external market trends.
And that fragmented data environment, that translates directly into poor business outcomes. Inefficient resource allocation, constant inventory imbalances, either too much stock tied up in a warehouse or not enough available to close a big deal.
And consequently, missed revenue opportunities. The complexity was simply beyond the reach of traditional CRM or BI tools.
So how did the agent solution tackle this?
The AI agent solution was revolutionary because it first solved that data integration nightmare. Specialized agents seamlessly integrated massive, disparate data streams: internal CRM data, ERP inventory levels, manufacturing schedules, supply chain records, and critically external market intelligence, like commodity prices and regional economic indicators. This established the unified data store they needed. Once that data foundation was laid, the core forecasting agents, leveraging machine learning, NLP, graph databases, they analyzed all this historical sales data, market trends, and customer behavior. They were able to generate highly accurate granular sales forecasts across specific product lines, regions, and even customer segments. It was a level of precision they had never seen before.
This is where we see AOT and React in play, I imagine. Breaking down that complex forecasting challenge, using React to pull in live supply chain data, and using AOT to efficiently navigate and cross-reference all those massive contextual data points.
Exactly. And the process didn't just stop at generating a number on a spreadsheet. They implemented intelligent pipeline management. Agents continuously monitor the pipeline in real time, analyzing opportunity data and customer interactions. They weren't just passively tracking, they were actively prioritizing leads based on a predictive closure likelihood, providing next best action guidance to sales reps, and recommending specific interventions like a discount offer or a technical resource deployment to help advance deals through the pipeline.
Hmm.
And recognizing the importance of the human element. The human interface was central. They integrated a generative AI chatbot that served as the primary interaction layer. Sales reps could interact using natural language. They could ask questions like, what's the likelihood of closing the Smith deal this week?
Or provide real-time feedback like the Smith deal is stuck on regulatory approval.
Exactly. And the chatbot processed that unstructured feedback, provided personalized recommendations, or escalated complex non-standard scenarios back to the multi-agent system for a deeper collaborative analysis.
And that feedback loop, that feeds directly into the continuous learning architecture we were just talking about.
Absolutely. The agents in the underlying machine learning models were explicitly designed with those reflection capabilities. They continuously learned and adapted based on real-world outcomes and the feedback from the sales teams. If a forecast proved incorrect, the agent analyzed why and adjusted its weighting factors for similar future situations. This ensured the models maintained high accuracy and stayed aligned with rapidly evolving market conditions, preventing that common problem of model drift over time.
And the overall result for this company is not just improved forecast accuracy, which translates directly to millions in increased revenue, but a massive operational shift. The sales teams are empowered, they're no longer bogged down by administrative guesswork, and they're acting on predictive intelligence that is fundamentally more accurate than any previous method. It's a significant competitive advantage rooted in the ability of these agents to self-reflect and collaborate.
That synthesis really encapsulates the future. The evolution of customer relationship management is intrinsically linked to the continued advancement in architectural sophistication of these AI agents. They are moving the CRM system beyond simple management and logging to true intelligence, predictive capability, and autonomous resilient execution.
So what does this all mean for you, the learner, trying to navigate this explosive technological landscape? The source documents, they detail potentially 50 different use cases for these agents. I mean, ranging from synchronizing inventory across disparate warehouses and providing real-time order status, all the way up to complex financial analysis, automated returns processing, and comprehensive asset service history tracking. The complexity and adaptability of these systems, rooted in technical patterns like reflection for self-correction, an algorithm of thoughts for efficient knowledge retrieval, it allows them to handle intricate, multifaceted workflows that demanded dedicated, costly human effort just a few years ago. We've shown the enormous scope for organizational transformation. So now that you understand the underlying mechanisms, the architecture, and the necessity of multi-agent coordination, consider the processes within your own organization. What foundational business process are you running today on manual analysis or on rigid, rule-based systems? That one system that consistently generates friction, latency, or customer disappointment. That process, the one currently held together by human effort just compensating for system rigidity, is now ripe for transformation by an autonomous agent capable of self-reflection and multi-agent coordination. Think strategically about where that initial transformation will yield the greatest gain in efficiency or customer loyalty. That's your starting line. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the AI agents revolutionizing customer relationships. We'll see you next time.